we are discussing the problem Fibonacci number on LeetCode, problem number 509. First, let's discuss what Fibonacci number and Fibonacci sequence is. Fibonacci sequence starts with the 0, and then the second number is 1, and the third number we can find it, we can calculate it by adding the two preceding numbers, which is 0 plus 1, that is 1, and the next number will be again sum of two preceding numbers, which is 1 plus 1, that is 2. Then next one will be sum of two preceding numbers, which is 1 plus this 2, which is 3, and so on. So from here we can understand Fibonacci number is f of n minus 1, so a number before it, and f of n minus 2. So it is two numbers, sum of two numbers, two preceding numbers before that position. So today we will be understanding how to solve this problem. We can solve this problem recursively, but there is an issue when we solve this problem recursively. So let's look at that first. So for example, we are finding a Fibonacci number of 5. At 5th position, we are finding the Fibonacci number. How we will be finding it? We will be finding the sum of two numbers before it. So which will be Fibonacci number of 4 plus f of 3. And then at 4, again we have to calculate this one by finding Fibonacci number at 3 and Fibonacci plus Fibonacci number at 2. And then f at 3 will be Fibonacci number, sum of Fibonacci number at 2 and f of 1. Here f of 2 we will be finding f of 1 plus f of 0. Again we have to compute f of 2. Here we computed f of 2. How to do that? It is asking here as well. F of 2 will be sum of two preceding numbers, f of 1 and f of 0. And in this case, again, f of 3 we have to find again in recursion f of 2 plus f of 1. Again, f of 2 will be f of 1 plus f of 0. So we are stopping at f of 1 and f of 0 because we know the very first number, f of 0, is 0. This is 0, and f of 1 is 1. Because we know these numbers, so we are computing it up to there. So in this case, we can clearly see the problem is we are recomputing the results which we did before. For example, f of 3 here, we are computing these results unnecessarily as we already computed f of 3 here, right? So this is kind of duplicacy, or we can say overwork, which we are doing in the recursion. So in order to solve this problem, what we can do is create a table. So this is a dynamic programming approach. Create a table. So this is an array where we can store all the results, all the Fibonacci numbers which we are finding in this one. For example, in the first position, we are adding the Fibonacci number at 0, which is the very first number, 0. Here, Fibonacci number at 1, which is 1. In this one, we are finding the Fibonacci number at 2, which is sum of 1 plus 1, 0 plus 1, so on. We are finding it. So we are finding and storing it in the table. So in future, when we need the f of 3, we will just go in, look into the table, and we will pull the f of 3. So this is how we will be solving the problem. In this case, so the lookup time will be O of 1, so we don't have to do the overwork. So let's solve the problem here. I will be solving it in C#. Okay, so let's start with the base case. If number is less than 1, then we are simply returning that number. But if the number is greater than 1, then we are calculating that number. So if the number is greater than 1, let's create an array first, int. Let's name the array dp. New int. The size will be n+1 as it is a 0-based index. And then in the dp, at the very first position at 0th index, we know the very first value is 0. And in dp, the value at 1 will be 1. And then after that, for rest of the dp array, we are filling it in using for loop for int I equals to, we are starting from 2 because we already know the first 2 indexes. I less than equals to ni plus plus. So at dp at any point I is dp at I minus 1 plus dp at I minus 2. So this is how we are calculating it, which we discussed before. So at the end, we are simply returning dp at of that number. We are just looking it up into the array where we stored the result, and we're just pulling it up. Return dp at n. That's it. Let's run the code. Accepted. Let's try to submit it. Okay, so this was in the dynamic programming approach for the Fibonacci number. That's it. See you in the next video. Thank you.